These are 3D printed night vision goggles, and I'm going to show you how to make them. Is there anything 3D printing can't do? It can make cup holders, drive cars, and now it can help you overcome a $40,000 price tag and your fear of the dark. The BPNVG is a project made for those of us who might have burnt through our pandemic stimulus checks a little too quickly, and now all we're left with is empty bags of hot Cheetos and GPUs. We have to manage some expectations. No, these are not L3 Harris, Gen 3 intensifier tubes. You won't be able to see a rat's butthole from a football field away, but you will be able to see in the dark. You can pick up IR illumination and just kind of look like the airsoft nerd you've always wanted to look like. And after everything is said and done, you should be able to put together a full set of panoramic night vision goggles for a little less than $400 US. Now before we get into the rest of the tutorial, I do stream on Twitch. I'm not going to give you my schedule because I'm flighty and stupid, but if this video is just cringe enough to make you want to harass me, you can come do it live, links in the description. Let's get on to the list of parts you'll need. The original project is on DEFCAD. If you search BPNVG on DEFCAD, you'll find the list of parts, but I'm kind of just gonna, show you shit on screen because B-rolls and camera, and I'm fancy. We also maintain a list of parts and the URLs to get to those parts in the Discord. You can check the link in the description. There were some modifications to the parts list that had to be made due to some product shortages. So instead of Runcam Night Eagle 2 Pro sensors, we've gone with the Foxier Nightcat 3. You can swap these out for the Runcam Night Eagle 3 if you'd like, but the wiring is going to be just slightly different. You're going to need 4 38mm biconvex lenses with a 50mm focal length. I got mine from Amazon. To display the video picked up by the FPV cam, we use 4 Adafruit 2-inch diagonal NTSC analog screens. These have been a little difficult to source, so we've used 1.5-inch screens with an adapter. If you can get them, get them. To fix the sensor mount and lens retainers to the main body, we use M4 bolts with threaded brass inserts. The brass inserts can be applied using a soldering iron. And if you do it right, you can mess up the installation and have to reprint this 3 times. To attach the bodies of the NVGs to the nuts. That's not where they go. To attach the bodies of the NVGs to the bridge, we use 1/4-20 bolts and testicles, which is a technical term for nuts. For the power supply, you can kind of work out whatever you want. I chose a Fat Shark power supply. I got it from Amazon, and it supplies 7.4 volts, which is enough to power all 4 tubes. You can't see it, but I'm using air quotes, tubes on the NVGs. To mount the NVG and bridge assembly to the helmet, I chose a Wilcox shoe mount and a G24. It's a knockoff, got it from Amazon. Again, you can get a cheap one for $24. It'll be made of nylon. If you want to throw out a little bit more cash, you can get a $100 one, and it'll actually be made of metal. Either way, it'll beat that $400 and some change price tag on a legit Wilcox. Now for the list of 3D printed parts. You're going to need to print 2 of the main housing. This is going to host most of the electronics assembly. 4 sensor mounts will house the 4 FPV cams, but to allow the smaller Nightcat 3s to fit into the sensor mounts, you're going to need these TPU adapters. To mount the Adafruit screens inside of the bodies, you're going to need to print 4 board mounts and screen mounts. Once the mounts are printed, you can glue the screen and board to their respective mounts and glue them back to back. For some space for cable management, print 4 gaskets. You can either use a flexible material or a hard material with gasket maker. That's going to do it for the parts list. All that's left is assembly. There's detailed instructions on DEFCAD and in my Discord for how to do this, but I'm going to summarize it here. Glue 1/4-20 nuts inside of the top of each housing. It's going to take 1 per housing. To figure out how this whole assembly fits together, you can follow this diagram I'm showing on screen. At least, I hope I'm showing it on screen. Essentially, you want to connect each of your FPV cams to their respective display driver board, and fit your adapted cameras inside of their sensor mounts and the screen and board assembly inside of the NVG body. Power cable management and routing is done through these small compartments, but some modifications might have to be made. In order to get my voltage and ground wires from one side of the housing to the other, I had to drill this small hole to accommodate the wire path. You want to make sure there's enough slack in the wires to actually work parts around, but not so much that you can't fit them in your cable management spaces. The bridge will be used to hold both halves of the NVG assembly together, and it will accommodate a Wilcox G24 shoe mount. Install all 4 lenses in the body of the NVGs and fix them in place with the lens retainer rings. Once everything fits, you can fasten the parts of the NVGs together using M4 screws. Use the 1/4 bolts to get the NVG bodies attached to the bridge. It'll probably take some trial and error to get the spacing right, but this is absolutely necessary. Once the bridge is attached, you can install your Wilcox shoe mount. This will allow the NVG assembly to slip right onto the G24. So, now that we've built the BPNVGs, how do they perform? What can we expect? Well, let's talk about light sensitivity and light transition. In terms of light sensitivity, of course, they're not going to be as sensitive as real image intensifier tubes. It will perform better than the naked eye, and we are strictly talking about the camera here, as in the lens and its sensor. Now, one of the issues you might expect to run into is transitioning from a low light environment to a lit environment. Thankfully, the transition period between the two environments is very short, and you might experience 1 or 2 seconds of a washed out image or an extremely dark image that you cannot actually see. The main bottleneck doesn't necessarily come from the sensors themselves, but actually the display. The 2-inch NTSC display features a resolution of 320 by 240. This means at a distance of around 10 or 15 meters, you'd be able to identify bodies, but not their facial features. You can see things like the point of impact for a designator, but identifying target hits becomes extremely difficult. You can expect good visuals in low light conditions as long as there's decent moonlight coverage, but as soon as there's blockage from foliage, or you're in a completely pitch black interior, the image is black and washed out with noise. In scenarios like these, it helps to have additional IR illumination. You could use anything within a small deviation of 850 nanometers. The field of view is advertised to be at least 120 degrees. I don't really know how I can possibly test this. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm an idiot. So you're just gonna have to take their word for it. I can say I would feel confident driving with these if the resolution of the displays was higher. You will notice there's a decent amount of light spill on my face. This probably has something to do with the distance I have between my face and the goggles. It has been suggested to several of us to create eye cups that conform to the face and mount to the outer tubes on the NVGs. This would aid in the light spill issue and make them more comfortable against the face. Something else to consider though is that on the display itself and the camera, there are 2 separate brightness settings, and these can be adjusted to whatever you feel performs best. In addition to this setting are other settings that would allow you to fine-tune the camera display to your personal preferences. Settings like black and white or full color, contrast, and actual on-screen display artifacts. The goggles themselves occupy a relatively large volume. However, if you choose the correct filament, this doesn't mean they have to be heavy. I chose to print my set using aramid nylon from Filamentum. The total weight, including all of the internals, came in at 1 pound, 6 ounces. This can be offset using counterweights or a large battery pack on the back of the helmet you have the NVGs mounted to. If I had to pick one component of this NVG setup that requires the most attention, I would say it's the Wilcox mount. If you cheap out on the mount, you'll find that while shooting with the NVGs, there is a lot of play. You either need a decent Wilcox clone or a proper retention system. These certainly won't compete with real analog night vision systems, but given the price tag, it's a perfect way to get introduced to the technology itself, and it's a fun project to undertake. If you have the time, money, and technical know-how to be able to follow this project, I absolutely recommend doing it. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'll see you guys in another 1.5 years. And if it sounded like I was reading from a script, I was not. I'm just that boring when I talk. If you enjoyed the project, please consider giving a like. It helps me out. And if you have any questions, or you just want to berate me, leave a comment. And, oh yeah, subscribe.